We are actually live now.
Hello, hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Thanks for
Yes,
the interview.
I'm feeling really, like I said earlier, feeling really excited for tonight's show. So now we're actually live on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm gonna go live on Instagram as well and get those people on watching. It's like time goes by like so fast. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
don't
Like
know if it's
during the
'cause-
day.
yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or not, but it just flies by. Before, when I used to be more busier than
Hmm.
I am, like, oh, it takes forever to take night. But now I wake up, boom, like 3 hours later is the afternoon, 2 hours later is nighttime. I'm like, where did time go?
Hmm. It definitely has to do with getting older. I think it's a big thing.
Mhm.
Without revealing, my age or your age, is
Uh-huh.
it's definitely a factor. I can tell you that
Flying.
because I definitely noticed that it's like when I remember, being 18, and it seemed like, when you're in school, the time was taking so long. Like
Yeah.
to get, for summer and for the next school year to come.
Yeah,
Now it's just like you want time to stop.
what I can say is like thinking back on like the time that I have served or been here, it's like I've lived so many different lives in so many different seasons. And I'd be like, yeah, I used to be that girl, or this used to be me, or I never do that. And
Right.
like, I really think about how much I've changed and grown, but I also think about how the great things about me have stayed and have developed. So, you know,
Right.
it's nostalgic.
Yes, it is. I mean, I like look thinking about the past, but then I'm like, I don't want to think about it because I want
Hmm.
to think about the present moment. But it's
Hmm.
like the past is what shape who I am today.
Exactly. It was shaped
So
everyone, right?
everywhere, right? You're right about that. So as we have more people tune in, again, welcome to On the Queue with Quadria Marie. I am
Mhm.
here with Chef Foxy of Black Baltimore Vegan, as you guys see. So I'm just again I'm really excited about tonight's show. It is I can't believe this date already, but it's November 11th, 11/11,
11/11.
2024. I don't know what that means. One of my friends posted something in her stories like she's into, the stars and astrology and all that stuff. So I don't know what all today means, but I'm sure it has to have some type of,
I think it has like
astrological.
it's a spiritual number or whatever. That's
Mhm.
what I've heard. So,
It has to be something 11/11.
mhm.
I could now see after the show I'm gonna have to
And look it
go
up.
back
I
and look
encourage you
up
to
and see
research
what's
it, but
going
as
on.
far as I know, it's like they said it's like a superstitious thing, but it's supposed to
Mm.
represent like no, but it's not bad. It's supposed to represent like spiritual awakeness, renewal, or like if you see 11/11, you know that it's like a lucky
Mhm.
number. Like saying 3 sevens or 7 7 is a lucky number to some people. It's
Mhm.
like that pretty much.
I'm definitely gonna look it up. I'm just here. I'm just making sure the Instagram is on. Make sure that it's up to date. That's all I'm doing right now. Making sure because I actually have more people that come on through the Instagram to
Mhm.
watch. Okay. So
Makes
I think I
sense.
got all of that. Okay. I'm like how it is at emergence with different monitors. So if you see me, I'm looking
I
this way
get
and that
it.
way. I'm not
I
trying
get
to
it.
be, cross-eyed, but I'm just looking at different monitors.
No,
So,
like they couldn't understand when I was working there why I only used one monitor because like I was like
oh
I don't know
really?
how yeah, I was like I don't know how to use multiple monitors. It's a lot for me to have to like one monitor is just two monitors is that
Right.
when I do everything consolidated on my one laptop. They were impressed by me, I'm impressed by them.
And now it's like I'm at that place where, like at home, I have just a laptop and one monitor, but at
Mhm.
work I have the two monitors and the laptop,
Uh-huh.
and I more comfortable with the 3. And if I could have 4, I would, but I'm like, that's doing a little too much. So
Right.
now I'm having the multiple monitors because I'm like, oh, I can change this here and move this on this screen and all this. So now it's hard for me to work on like just the laptop,
Mm-hmm.
unless I absolutely have to and stuff. But now I'm like I can't do much now because I'm so used to having the different monitor. I said I done got spoiled already.
Yeah, I got spoiled. It
But
happens.
it definitely helps to have, to have the
It
two or
does,
three
like when you need
monitors.
to. Because when I was doing like document updates,
Mhm.
it was helpful to have the two monitors, one with the original document and then another one with the updated
Right.
document.
Mhm. Okay. I always do this. Well, I don't always do this, but I try to do this. But it's, just a motivational Monday. I just briefly, just try to encourage people, to do something motivational, whether it's for yourself or, for someone else. And right now, for me, I just want to encourage people to, continue taking care of themselves, which is what tonight's show is going to be
Mhm.
about. We're going to be providing examples of, what it is your business is about, and I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
that'll definitely help the next person who's, starting their health journey, or
Right.
nutrition journey. So I'm
Right.
definitely happy again to have you on the show. I would
Mhm.
like you to just give a brief introduction of, your name again and your business title as we see here, and then we're going to get into the actual brand of Black Baltimore Vegan.
So my full name is Shaisha Harris. I have a bachelor's degree in healthcare management with a minor in business and long-term care. I just graduated also with a master's in cybersecurity. My business is Black Baltimore Vegan, and it was originally initiated as a way to spread awareness of healthy food habits in a farmer's market, festival type of environment. So that's me.
Yes. And we're going to get, like I said, we're going to get further into that. I'm just feeling really excited about the show tonight because I feel like you have a good bit of information
Mhm.
to share with our viewers. But you already started talking briefly, about how it got started. I know I cut you off early. I was like, oh my God, I don't want her to miss,
Yeah, let's get into
to miss any
it.
and yeah, get too much into it, missing the points because I know it's important for you to to share that with the viewers. And
Right.
I'm excited as well to hear more about how did you even come across this? Were you already a vegan yourself, or I can let you share that.
No, no worries. So the story is of course, went to college to get my healthcare
Mhm.
management degree. But before I went to Towson, I was at
Mhm.
CCBC doing a trade for a dental hygienist, and that parallels like a
Mm.
nursing degree. But when it came down to doing my residentials, I had an option of either staying and just getting my associate's degree or having the opportunity to go to Towson and get multiple
Mhm.
degrees. So I had decided to go to Towson. But in the midst of my learning, I took a holistic class that talked about
Mm.
complementary medicine versus like Western medicine. And basically, that's like holistic medicine versus the medicine we get nowadays in hospitals and things like
Mm.
that. And then I wasn't actually privy to that information until I went to school. And I was like, they gave me an herbal book and they said how all these herbs can like help
Mm.
with ailments and this and that. And I'm like, well, if all these things naturally can help you, like what's up with the supplements? And as you know, you go into healthcare, you learn about different prescription drugs, different things they can give you, the side effects. You learn
Mm.
pharmaceutical company. You learn about like the positive and mainly negative effects of the pharmaceutical company, especially like with
Mhm.
opioid drugs. That's been an epidemic with heroin. That's been an epidemic with like
Right.
medical devices and things like that. So knowing that, I kind of like did like a personal experience with myself. I guess that started my health journey. I wanted to see how being a vegetarian would affect my gut health or affect my overall health. Because at
Mm.
the time I was
Wow, okay.
experiencing like a lot of bloating, a lot of
Mm. Yeah.
fatigue and stuff like that. And I was a pretty healthy
Right.
person. Like I ate very well. So after I became vegan, like I'm sorry, vegetarian at the time, um,
Mhm.
a lot of that stuff just went away. I think like within like a month, it just all went away. So I knew it
Oh,
was something
wow.
that I was eating. So
Mhm.
I stayed a vegetarian for like a year. And then I went back to eating like
Mm.
chicken, steak, and all of that. And then it all came back. So I knew it was something for me. Like I
That's
wasn't
something
supposed to
else.
be eating
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it just was like I wasn't supposed to be eating it. And then
Mhm.
um, at the time when I became a vegetarian, there weren't like whole grocery store aisles full of things that we can
Right.
eat. I think when I went to the coffee shop, they only had like whole milk and half. Like today, they have almond
Yeah,
milk,
it's pretty much.
coconut.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like it's so I became vegan as society changed and created more options for me to go in that direction because dairy
Mhm.
never really sat well with me, all my life. I probably was lactose intolerant, but because dairy is in everything, there was like no
Right.
choice for me to
Yeah,
eat
it
it.
is.
So I wind up trying to, put myself in the mindset of becoming vegan, but I noticed that it was like I had to figure out what to eat, how to change, up recipes. So I took, it took me on a long
Yeah.
journey down YouTube and different books
Mhm.
and different narratives, learning about like
Yeah.
tofu, learning about banana blossoms, learning about
Mm.
all different kind of mushrooms. Mushrooms. Once I hit mushrooms, mushrooms were my thing. Like all detailed about mushrooms, how they grow, the
Wow.
health benefits, and things like that. And then in the middle of COVID, when they had shut down everything, there was really nothing for me to do. So I was like, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna show myself how to make, all these items and figure it out. And I became really, really good at it. I started my Instagram page for people to follow along just to kind of see what I was
Mhm.
doing. And then I got to the point where I put myself in quite like I call it self training, where
Yes.
I started to work at different restaurants. So I worked at like Honey
Mm.
Bro, I worked at like Donor Bros, and I managed those restaurants just to get kind of an idea of how managing restaurants worked because I
Mm,
already
that was right. That was
knew how
smart
to
to do.
yeah, because if I knew I was going to open a restaurant or wanted to do this like part time, full time, I needed to know what I was doing. So I immersed myself
Right.
into doing that part time. And then I wound up being able to score me like a job on a food truck. There I learned like what it means to like get yourself enrolled into the markets, their expectations, how to sign up, who to talk to, things
Mhm.
like that. And then like the following year I kind of like
Wow.
just applied on a whim. I said, you know what, I'm gonna apply and see what happens. Like I wasn't
That's
prepared at
right.
all. I really
That's
thought
what
they
you
were
have to
going to
do.
yeah, I really thought that they were going to deny me. Because my name was like Black Baltimore Vegan. I was like, they're not going to let me in.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
got a
you're not gonna
letter.
let me in.
They're not gonna let me in. I got a letter and they was like, you've been invited. We're gonna let you come in or whatever. And mind you, I didn't have a tent. I didn't have any tables. I had nothing, like
Mm.
nothing.
You
So
just
I
had
wound
a
up
hope.
going
Yeah.
hope. I went in
Yeah.
and I had bought everything I needed. And like my first day at the farmers market, let me tell you, I was so unprepared. But like that first day really taught me a lot. I learned quickly. Like it was really, really windy that day. The
Mm.
externals weren't keeping hot. Like my tent wound up flying over. My mother's over there helping me keep it down. It was really crazy. The first day was
It's
crazy.
always
I'm
something
not
like
gonna
that the
lie.
first
It was a
day.
hot
Yeah.
mess. But the
That's a
following,
mess.
I took that as a learning lesson. Like literally after that first day, like within that week, I was like, okay, well, I need this to help with the wind for my tent not to fly out. I need better soup containers so that the casein liners are not going out and I can feed people. But
Right.
I started out at the farmers market because while I was working on the food truck, I noticed that although there were a lot of things to eat, there wasn't like
Mhm.
vegetarian and vegan options. But I
Right.
knew that the vegetarians and the vegans are the ones coming to the farmers market because they know what I know about food.
Right, that makes sense.
You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm not
Yeah.
saying like normal people don't come to the farmers market, but majority of them who come to the farmers market like to get fresh produce, fresh products because they eat healthy. They
Mhm.
want healthier styles.
Right.
They try to avoid
That's
like
true.
some of the pesticides in the food, and they want healthy grown, organic, real organic produce. So
Right.
I was like, there's nobody that exists out here. There's no vegan vendor or telling people like what they can do with this food that they're buying. So I thought that was an opportunity for me to come out there and show what I could offer. I started off with soups, which is still one of my main products that I produce. Is artesian soups. They're herbal soups. Yeah, they're
Okay.
filled with like
Mm.
flavor. I got Cajun flavors. I got a crab soup. I
All
have a
right.
coconut
Okay.
gumbo. I have a vegan chili. Um,
Mm.
some of the new items are I have a vegan loaded mac and
Mhm.
cheese, which has four different vegan cheeses, like
Oh,
mozzarella,
wow.
Parmesan, pepper jack. I have vegan wings, which were like popular the first year, but I changed that into making vegan breakfast sandwiches. So I make everything bagels with fried mushrooms, eggs, and they generally enjoy everything that I
Mm.
produce. They generally enjoy it because I let the audience decide what they want. So, like last year, I
Mm.
just had
Yeah.
soups, wings, and tacos because I had a feeling that that's what
Mhm.
they wanted, and they came and got ate up them tacos, they ate up them soups. But I also
You
noticed
say ate
that
'em
people
up.
ate them up. But I also noticed while I
Yeah.
was there last year, there was no breakfast. I was like, there's not really breakfast. So this year, I made breakfast. They're eating up the breakfast. I did soul food. They're eating up the soul food because my menu changes based upon like the weather conditions. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I
so
didn't know that you changed it up based on that.
yeah, my
So.
mine changes. That's another thing I noticed. Like as a food vendor, like
Mhm.
although you want
Mhm.
to continue to have your clients and keep them coming back, I noticed that it for my clientele, they have staple things that they like and I keep, but they also enjoy when I
Mhm.
produce new things because it gets them excited to try some of the new things that I have on the menu that I've created for them. And they'll tell me like, "Oh, it needs this, it needs that." And they'll help me kind of like
Mm.
perfect my dish, but I don't bring anything to the market that I haven't tried, that I haven't tested out a couple times, and that I know for sure that a mass group of people would like. So that's what I was saying earlier. Like being in the market allows me to hone my skills in a way that owning a restaurant may not give me because I'm not able to, at the markets, I'm able to be more creative and offer a multi-dimension menu, create different menus, and explore the flavor profiles of different audiences that I go to via
Mhm.
the market, via festivals,
Right.
via events, because all of them have different markets. So I have to create menus for those different markets. Right
Yeah, see, I
now,
didn't realize that 'cause I haven't done the food in industry. I just go out and eat.
yeah.
So
So like
so it's good to know that.
when I was working at the restaurants, one of the main things that I noticed was if you don't have a good location and good traffic in that
Mhm.
location, your business will suffer
Right.
because you can't move to
Mm.
the audience when the traffic is low, you know? So that's
That's
one thing
true.
that will
Yeah.
hinder you. If you don't find a good location that has good traffic for the audience that, like your food, you're gonna be kind of stuck. And then managing a restaurant if you don't have um, like good people working for you because you have to have
That's
employees who
really
know what
important.
they're doing,
Yeah.
yeah, and management skills who know what they're doing because if I dedicate myself to run a whole shop, I'm not going to be able to be at these markets, you know. So, this is my next year will be like my third year, so I'm still starting out. I'm still a baby company, but it is moving fast. It is
Right.
moving quickly, and I'm just trying to keep up. Like I was telling you earlier,
Mhm.
I'm a solo business owner, so I do a lot of things myself, including the
Mhm.
website, booking the events, filling out all the paperwork,
Wow.
cooking the food, opening the
Everything.
shops, everything you can name it. I can.
Yeah,
I have a few
everything.
employees
Yeah.
who work for me, who help me, like,
Mhm.
take cash and serve. But for the majority of the
Right.
work, I do on my own, and
Mhm.
to put that much passion into a restaurant, I think I can do. But I don't want that to take away from the market. So until I'm bigger and
Right.
able to get that assistance, the markets are where I'm going to be at. So
Mhm.
if you're ever interested in eating any of my food, I have a full website. It's blackbaltimorevegan.com.
Yeah.
There I have a event calendar, and you can kind of check all the events that are coming up. It has dates, times, and locations. So,
Yes. And I'm definitely going to post all that information as well. We do have a question
okay.
from Tyrone Smith. He said, "What's your source of protein as a vegan?"
As a vegan, there's two sources of protein. You have your leafy greens and you have your beans, or they call them legumes. So you can have like black beans, red
Mm.
beans, chickpeas, lentils, anything like that, a very high source of protein. So if you're looking for that, like chili, like my chili is good, it's packed with protein. Or green leafy
Mhm.
vegetables are good. Like people don't think that green leafy vegetables have protein in it, but they do. So like your salads, your kales,
Yeah, I
your
didn't think about
spinach.
that.
Yeah, because I think
Mm.
people think that, or you can, or nuts too as well, like your peanuts, your walnuts, your pumpkin seeds, things like that. People don't think that those items hold a lot of protein, but they actually do. I give the example of
Mhm.
this. If you think about the animals in the kingdom, right? The largest animals that we see, they're vegetarian. They don't eat meat at all. Like elephants,
That's true. They don't. I didn't think about that. You're right.
giraffes. They're huge. They're
Yeah.
huge, right?
Yeah,
And they
they
don't eat
are.
meat at
Yeah.
all. All they do is grain on stuff. So I hope that answers your question.
That was a great question and great response as well. Because I think protein is. I'm starting to learn now the value of having protein in your diet. So I'm glad that that question was asked and that you were able to answer it so eloquently because that is an important ingredient.
Yeah, because
You
the
know, when you
proteins.
are trying to become healthy.
Yeah, because the proteins have amino acids in it that help, with like free radicals and things like that. So you need protein, but you can get an adequate source of protein without having to eat chicken, beef, or anything like that.
Right.
You can get it from beans, you can get it from nuts, and you can get it from leafy vegetables as well. You may have to eat more, but you can get
Mm,
it.
right.
Hmm.
Well, I'm gonna have to stop. I have beans in here now, and it's just sitting there, like in my cabinet. And I'm like, I'm gonna have, first of all, not only does it save financially, but it's healthy too at the same time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Instead of you going out and you buying, Wendy's. I don't know if I don't think they got the 4 for 4 no more. I think it's the biggie bag or whatever they got now. Still ain't good for you either way. But it's like you spend $5 on that when you could have, bought a couple cans of, like you said, beans and nuts and greens for the
Hmm.
same price or
Right.
less.
Yeah, and if you're one of those people who wake up and like eat smoothies every morning, like
Mhm.
banana, peanut butter, chocolate smoothie, packs a lot of protein in it too.
Yeah, I just started getting back into smoothies. I have the machine, but then it's like I start with it and then I go
Uh-huh.
on, head out the house real fast and say, "Oh no, I'll
Hmm.
work, I'll do it tomorrow." And then tomorrow comes, I'm just running out the door again. So I need to get in that
Right.
path of having smoothies made, the night before. So that when I do wake
Well,
up in the
like,
morning, I already have, you know,
yeah, if you're not a smoothie person, most people
mhm.
aren't. I'm not a smoothie person, but I do like trail mix bars. You run
Okay.
around,
Yeah.
you can carry them in your car, you can carry them in your purse,
That's
you
true.
can carry them in your laptop bag. If you need something to snack on, it's like right there. It's a nice, quick, easy snack.
Yeah, I'm a big snacker. I'm a huge snacker. So that would be great for me to do instead of me going to grab a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
I need to do more. Like I have when I'm at work or at home, I'll have fruit, apple, banana, something to snack. But then I get tired of that. I get bored, and I'm like, oh, I need to have something else in my hand. So
You
a trail
you
mix
know
would
what I
definitely
like
be
to
a
snack
great
on
idea.
sometimes is apples with peanut butter on them. I don't
Mhm.
know. That's a very good snack for me. Because the sweetness of the peanut butter and the pair with the
Mhm.
apples, it's quick, it's easy,
Right.
and then again, like if you're trying to get protein in, that's a quick, easy thing that you can do.
Yeah. Mm.
And it's low.
That makes
I
sense
think
too. Cause
it's
'cause I do
gluten
eat
free,
apples. Yeah.
soy free, all the frees. You can't eat it if
Right.
you're allergic to nuts. I'm sorry for those people.
Oh yeah. We apologize in advance.
We apologize in advance.
So that actually brings me. We apologize to y'all. I feel sorry for y'all, but yeah, we apologize. So you've already started talking about it. Some basics for new vegans. Definitely starting with the protein, and you mentioned the gluten free. Does that have something to do with being a vegan, or that's just a whole separate thing itself, or is that what
Uh,
you focus on that as a
mm,
vegan?
no, so the way that I explain it to people is you have, your vegans, which don't eat meat or dairy. You have your pescatarians who
Mhm.
eat meat, who eat like fish and dairy. You have your vegetarians who don't eat no meat. They don't eat meat, but they do eat dairy. So like then you have like your regular standard
Mhm.
carnivores who eat meat, dairy, they eat everything. So those are kind of like the four types. If there's more
Mm.
hybrid, I'm not
Okay.
aware of, but those are kind of like the four types. Outside of that, gluten free and soy free, those are dietary restrictions
Mhm.
based on food allergies or food choices, but they're not
Okay.
necessarily, you can be somebody who is gluten free, but you can still be like an omnivore who eats like meat and things like that.
Okay.
Same thing with those who are soy free. You can be
Mhm.
eat any one of the four. It's almost like having people have a nut allergy, but they can be a part of the four. So as a vegan, I don't
That's
focus on
true.
trying to make things gluten free or soy free. I just try to make sure that the things that I cook don't have any meat in there or don't have any dairy. If it happens to turn out to be gluten free, even better because it gives a broader range for those who are vegan and gluten free. If it happens to be soy free, even better because it gives an option for those people who are gluten and soy free. But I don't, when I
Mhm.
make my food, I don't put that in a conscious mind to cook that way because I know those are like specific dietary restrictions as opposed to like
That's true.
a diet format as like vegan, pescatarian, and so forth.
I'm glad you broke that down because it is kind of it's a lot in the market looking at. So when you're hearing all these different terms, it's confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah, they kind of all I
Especially they're
get it a
trying to
lot.
it's
They
all
wrap it all
over
in one. Yeah,
into
they wrap it
one,
all in one.
right? That's what it is. So I think it's important but like you said, like you did your research before, and you tried different things. So it wasn't like, you started this and then in 2 months you were here. It's a
No,
journey, and I'm sure you're still on, the journey of
still on it.
of learning, especially learning your body. Because at the beginning of the show, you mentioned the different symptoms that you were having, and I have a lot of issues with bloating, and I hear a lot of people like mid 30s on up experiencing that, and we all think, oh, we just need to cut out certain fast food, but then it may be more than that's a big thing, but it may be more than just cutting out Wendy's. While we're
Right.
feeling
So
all these different digestive problems.
Right. So what I tell people is I make vegan food because eating vegan food helps me have more energy, helps me be more functional, helps me be more healthy because it's suitable for my body and my body type. If you become vegan and you're getting like sick and ill or whatever, you may have to change, your dietary restrictions to something else. Everybody's different. Everybody's body can handle different things. I think people are so used
That's
to being
true.
on the go that they're not recognizing and not taking
Yeah.
the time to say, okay, this is what's helping my body become empowered and this is what's lowering my body.
Right.
So they're
Mhm.
not switching the diets because it's easy to roll up to a fast food plane and order food or get something on Uber.
Right.
And another thing that people don't
Mhm.
recognize is that the food industry itself has changed as far as what's being accepted as food items
Mm.
and what's being accepted
Mm.
in food items. So if you look online, there's probably like a lot of YouTube videos about this. Like bread made in
Mhm.
1960s is not the same bread that we eat nowadays. The
Right.
bread that we eat nowadays in
Yeah.
America, they don't even consider bread because of all the amount of sugar in it. It's actually kind of like a
That's just
sweet.
some mess. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it
Yeah.
sometimes it's not necessarily that you're eating poorly, as far as like your habits of trying to eat healthy. Sometimes it's just the food
Mhm.
that is offered in United States is not being produced with quality and limited ingredients
Right.
because we're so worried about preserving the food that's probably what's
That's
causing a lot
true.
of the
Yeah.
trickling down health effects that we're seeing in today's society.
Right. I agree with you. It's not the same. Even 10 years ago, I don't think things are the same.
Nope,
Um,
not at
we
all.
have another question. Tyrone has another question. I think you answered this earlier, but he asks, "How long have you been a vegan? What's your
Mhm.
meal preparation look like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?"
I've been vegan for, I'm gonna say 6 years now, 5.5, 6 years.
Wow. Mhm.
For breakfast, I generally will have something small. I kind of fast in the morning, if that makes sense, or I eat like a small
Mhm.
salad in the morning, or I have like a banana. Lunch is probably like
Mhm.
my biggest meal during lunch. I'm a rice person, so I eat like rice and beans
Yeah.
with sauteed mushrooms and a side salad. Or sometimes I'll have like a bagel with like lettuce, tomatoes, eggs, and fried mushroom. Um, but the bulk of my meals are at lunchtime. And then at
Mhm.
nighttime, I'll have a small meal like another salad, like a bean salad with
Mm.
the tofu or fried mushroom or something like that. If I'm getting fancy, I'll make like a full meal. Sometimes, like
Mhm.
tomorrow, I'm gonna probably post a reel on there, but I just came back from
Mhm.
Jamaica, so I want to try my
Yes,
hand
I
at
guess.
making.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes. Because you say you was coming from vacation. I was like, where is she
yeah.
coming from?
I just came back from
Yes.
Jamaica, so I want to try
Hey.
and
Mhm.
make like some like jerk mushrooms or brown
Mm.
stew mushrooms with coconut rice and cabbage. So, when I'm
Mm.
not too busy,
That sounds
occasionally I
good.
make a full like on the go. But for the most part,
Mhm.
like I think it's good to have a small meal in the morning to allow your body to fast, and then small meal to break the
Right.
fast.
Okay.
Midday, have a
Mhm.
bigger lunch. People generally have a smaller lunch because they're at work and probably makes them tired. But having a
Right.
bigger lunch is probably better because your body can burn off what you ate through the day, and then having a smaller
Mm.
smaller dinner is better because you're about to go to bed. So your body, will burn off most of that while you're in your sleep and go forth instead of having it sit in your
Mhm.
stomach. That's generally
Right.
how I function.
No, it definitely sounds good.
Mhm,
The rationale behind it. Because
mhm.
people, from what I've noticed, they tend to eat a lot heavier at nighttime, and I think that does affect your sleep.
Yes, it does. It does affect.
Eat so much, especially heavy meals.
Yeah, and then it's a good way to like control, is a good way to allow your body to fast without being hungry.
Mm,
Because I think people start to
right.
do like intermittent fasting and then they get hungry, and that's because they
Yeah.
try to
That's
do
yeah.
it midday when like the majority of your
Mm,
you're moving most of the time in the middle of the day. Unless like
right.
you're,
Yeah.
some people work. Granted, I'm not saying everybody. The majority of people are functional and moving around in the middle of the day. Now, if you're working at night or if you're working early in the morning, based upon your work shift, it may be a little bit different for you. But it's good to
Mhm.
burn all that off before you go
That's
to
why
bed.
I need to burn it. I need to burn it off. I'm on like this journey myself
Mhm.
trying to lose weight and then I get caught up eating Snickers.
No Snickers.
Oh, last child.
That's
Yeah, and
that's
my
what
my
makes
birthday's
people.
in man, I
That's
know.
what people are like
Yeah.
afraid of, like eating like regular food because they think it's going to make them fat. What actually makes most people gain weight is sugar, actually, and then things that turn
Yeah,
them
I
to.
just learned that recently too.
Hmm. Yeah. If you
Yep,
can
I
avoid
just
sugar
learned
as
that.
much as possible, you can see a dramatic difference. Like I don't eat a lot of sugar now. I don't eat a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
So I can't describe the effects per me because I've never been a sugary, like a sweet person. I'm more of like a
Mhm.
spicy,
Mhm.
savory. But
Right.
like I don't. If you take out like those sweet drinks like Fantas and stuff and Coca-Colas and replace them with like waters and like light fruit
Mhm.
juices. That'll help you with a lot of calories and things like that and help you with your hormones to help you
Mhm.
lose the weight,
Right.
help you kind of reduce some of the inflammation because sometimes it's stuff that you eat causes you to be inflamed, which makes it hard for you
Yeah,
to
I
lose
believe
weight
it.
as well.
Yeah, and I have a lot of inflammation now in my knees. So my knees and legs look bigger than they should because I
Yeah.
think I'm it's inflamed and I think I'm holding sodium
Salt, you
in
hold a
my
lot of
legs.
salt. You can hold a lot of salt, and you can hold a lot of sugar if your body starts to get
Mhm.
hormonal imbalance.
Yeah, I'm sure I got some. I probably got a few imbalances going on with
It's
me
okay. Like what I
that
say to people is like,
I need to work out. So, mm.
here's what I can tell people. Most people don't die of old age. It makes it seem that way, right? But most people die of
Mm.
actually diseases that come about as they
Right.
get into old age that their body can't fight off.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's never too late to reverse some of the things that,
Right.
has happened to your body because just the lack of knowledge and the change in society.
Mhm.
Because once you
Yeah.
know and you're not as, what I say, ignorant to it, if that's like a bad vocabulary, I'm sorry. But
No,
once
I know
you
what you
have
mean.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
once you have that knowing, now it's time to apply it. And people have to give themselves more grace in allowing that habit to settle in. Because you got to think, if you've
Right.
been doing something for 10, 15, 20 years, you're not
Yeah.
overnight in 1 month going to be different. You have to set
No,
boundaries
that's
for
true. You won't.
and forgive yourself if you make a mistake. You may not eat a Snickers all month, and then one day you have the Snickers again. It's okay. You're
Mhm.
not. It's
Yeah.
okay. Just be like, all right, I had the Snickers.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat another
Mhm.
one, and then go
Mhm.
back to your routine again.
Right.
Takes a
And we
while,
have
but
another. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was popping next question up. Let me see.
do you
He's
consider
asking, do you think
food
food spiritual?
spiritual in a way? Because I feel like if your body is, like I said, inflamed,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
if your like digestive system is not working properly or anything like that, it affects your brain, right? Because nowadays we
Mhm.
have a ton of people that are on depression, they have depressive symptoms
Right.
and things like that. So I do think food is a part of spirituality because if you're not eating right and not putting good things in your body, it affects things like your brain functioning. And if you can't think right, if you don't have cognitive functioning, how can you operate well within yourself to be enlightened, to do the things that you've been guided to do, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I'm starting to, a great question by the way in response, but I'm starting to understand that too. I feel like everything is connected in different, different ways from head to
It
toe.
Yeah,
You know.
food affects your mood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's absolute fact. So if food is affecting your mood, it's affecting your
Mhm.
spiritual health. There's there's no, you
Right.
can't get around that. So
So we just, all for all of us, everybody who's joining, and I appreciate everybody who's watching and joining tonight as well. I think we're all on this path of really starting to learn that about,
mhm,
our bodies, that what we eat does affect us,
mhm,
in so many ways, beyond the physical,
right.
and I'm glad that there's more people like yourself, that's here to, to tell us more about that and to prove that as a real thing. It's a
Yeah.
reality that we do have to pay more attention. And I hear, and you can give me your opinion on this because I hear people go back and forth about, they want to be healthy, but they say it's more expensive to live that way. So for them, it's better to just, to go through, the fast food restaurant and pick up a quick bite. But I'm starting to think
Mhm.
like, I don't know how true that really is.
Well,
I just wanted your
probably
opinion on that.
probably back in the heyday, it could have been
Hmm.
considered true, but grocery nowadays are so expensive for everyone. So I feel like,
Right,
you
that's true. It
have to
is.
buy healthy stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's so, for me personally, I think it's a lack of knowledge on how to make healthy choices within your budget, or it's the lack of knowledge
Right.
on making healthy choices within your budget and knowing how to cook those things. Um, that's what's landing people in the bucket of saying
Right.
it's too expensive to be healthy, right? Because for me, I
Yeah.
can take $20, $30, go to the grocery store, buy a can of beans, some rice, a salad, and maybe some squash,
Yeah.
mushrooms, and saute that up and make a good meal, and I only paid $30. But
Right.
someone
Yeah.
else can take that and just walk around the grocery store and they don't know what to buy. They don't have the capability in their
Yeah.
mind yet to see the
Mm.
vision of what they could
Mm.
buy with the $30 and what they can make with it. Because, like I said,
Mm.
everybody's on the go, everybody's moving, and everybody's doing
Right.
this. So
That's yeah,
I
they are.
functionally taking the time to sit down and say, hey, what do I need for my body to be healthy? How can I make it healthy?
Mm.
What resources do I have, or do I need to learn how to
Right.
cook for myself in a way that is better for me in the longevity in the long run? And if you don't have time to do it, you know, there's always the option of meal prepping. But again, you have to have the time or make the time for yourself to meal prep. But it's important to make that
Right.
time
And that's the
because,
thing. That's true.
yeah, because you are the most important thing. So if you're not functioning healthy, if you're not healthy, how do
Yes.
you expect to move forward in life and grow old and be able to, if not grow old, just be able to get up every morning and go to work and not feel sick, you know, going there and doing those
Right.
things because
They're
you
giving
have
you the
to eat
a
right.
thumbs up on
Oh,
Instagram.
thank you.
Yeah. You're right. And everywhere you go is you're gonna be there. So,
Mhm,
that's one of those things where you have to learn to be selfish
mhm.
in that
And,
sense, to take care of yourself.
and people will give you the side eye, okay? They be like, "Oh, you eating salads?" I
You
said,
know,
"Yep,
you went,
salads."
you jumped up in that.
I'm eating my salad. Do you want
Right.
some?
Yeah. He's like, here, you can try some. And you're
Mhm,
right though. People look at you funny if you're not eating the same way. It's almost the same thing with drinking. My boyfriend doesn't drink, and I barely drink like a little bit of wine. But
mhm.
it's like people act funny even towards us, family and friends.
Right.
If we say no, we don't want to go out drinking because it's like
That's not
it's
what
not
you
a
do.
necessity.
Yeah,
It's not.
but
It's what we used to do,
mhm. Yeah,
but
but
we
people are
changed.
different.
So
Yeah, people
yeah.
grow. People are different. People have different ideologies. Um,
Mhm.
but I feel like I don't know if it's COVID or what, but people have lost the
Mhm.
art of being able to function around other people who have differences, you know? We
Right.
may
Yeah.
not always like the same things, but as long as we have
Mhm.
respect for each other, we can still communicate,
Yes.
have a good time for the things we do have
Right.
similar thoughts about. You know, I don't want to be around the same person.
Mhm.
I don't want to be around me all day. I'm already bored with myself. I need somebody who is different, who will
Right. So.
challenge, who will who will
Right.
teach me something
Right.
different. Otherwise, how do I
Mhm.
grow? How do I become a better person if
Right. You're
I'm
right.
looking in the mirror at
Right.
myself all the time and not looking in the mirror at myself
Mhm.
with the idea of these are the things that I'm missing, these are the things that I should look at, and these are the things that I can consider.
Mhm. And like you said, when you have others around you, you are absorbing different different things instead of just looking at yourself all the time.
Right.
Just like the show tonight, listening to, your suggestions and your advice is definitely been beneficial. I know I learned new things just,
Okay.
in the 40,
Good.
40 some minutes
Thank you.
that, we've been sitting here. So it's like we didn't have the conversation. I wouldn't have known that,
Mhm.
so it's definitely important for us to also share our knowledge, as we learn, with others. It's on them whether they want to listen or not, but it's important to just at least tell them, what it is that you're doing. Because you
Right.
never know how that might influence the next person to be like,
Yeah.
okay, she's doing her thing, or she's looking good. Maybe I can change something, in my diet, so I can feel better too. Because that's a big thing, feeling good is a
Mhm.
huge thing, physical, spiritual, emotional health. But
Mhm.
the digestive thing and all that, I mention that again because it's something I'm dealing with myself, and I
Mhm.
know it has to do with my diet more than anything, genetic and all that stuff. I think it's stuff that's in our control. We have a lot of things that we can control, and food is one of them. But
Mhm.
it's not an easy choice to have that lifestyle change.
Yeah,
Which
lifestyle
it
or
is,
like
I think,
discipline. Yeah, but
the
like
discipline.
it is a choice that you have to make to be selfish in a sense that you take the
Mhm.
time out for yourself to acknowledge that these things are not good for you, to acknowledge that these things are causing you ailment, to acknowledge that these things are making you a little sick, and then being progressive
Right.
and saying when you go to the grocery store, you're going to buy healthier options and then functionally work
Mhm.
on trying to use those healthier options in a day-to-day basis. It's not going to be overnight. You may only do it once a week and then it changes to twice a week
Right.
and it changes to three times a
Mhm.
week. It could be as something as simple as saying, okay, I'm not going to drink any more sodas. I'm just going to replace it with teas. The small changes become big changes, and the big changes become lifetime motivations.
Right. Okay, I like that one. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to use that quote. Because I'm really big on the baby steps, in
Yeah.
life, and the importance of those, because those baby steps are the big changes to that lifestyle change that we need. When we don't look at
I
the
would
little
say,
things we do.
I would say if you ever seen anybody try to do yoga, right? Maybe it's just me, but if you ever see anybody try to do yoga, like the first class, they probably can't even touch their toes, or they probably can't even
No.
stretch out. But like after they take like 5 or 6
Right.
classes, then they touching their toes. Next thing they doing a
Right.
split. They're like, where did that come from?
Well,
Last
I
year
don't
you
know
didn't
about
even
that,
do that,
child.
right? And they probably only
Because
go
I
once
actually
a
I actually
week.
do yoga, and I'm not ready yet to do a split, but
They
maybe
exactly.
I need some more sessions.
It just takes time. Like it takes
It's
time and
time,
consistent.
right?
I would say more than time is
Yeah.
consistency. That's the big
That's huge.
consistency,
That's huge. Yeah.
because you will fail, you will fall off the beaten path,
Right.
but you have to forgive yourself in those moments and say, okay, I messed up. Realize how you messed up in those moments, right? And then continue on. That's the only thing that I can say, like, to just keep at it till you get the results that you're trying to get.
Right. And it's definitely, like you said, consistency.
Mhm.
Just continuously doing it, and being efficient, about it. And not
Mhm.
and like you actually mentioned, you're going to have days where you consider, well, it's not failing, but where you may not want to, do something, or you may miss a day, but it's important to get back, on your feet. Get back,
Right.
as they say, get back on that horse,
Get back on that high
again,
horse.
because people
Get
do
right
that,
on
a
it.
high horse.
Yes.
Because people do beat themselves up with that. They're like, oh, I like you said, I had a Snickers, I done messed up,
It's okay.
so
Don't
that
think it's
it's okay to
tomorrow,
do
you
that.
know. Mhm.
So
So,
I know we already. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was
I'm
just gonna
listening. Go
say,
ahead.
I wanted to go back to your question as far as like alternatives, real quick. That we're wrapping up.
Mhm.
But some good alternatives. If you, I like Wegmans or Whole Foods or anything like that. They do have plant
Mm.
aisles, plant based sections. I would encourage anybody to go to those sections and start
Mhm.
there. They're considered alternative vegan food, but they're great transitional foods until you kind of learn how to cook your own food, and then that's where you can get in
Right.
more like experimenting with tofu, mushrooms, beans, veggie chunks, things like that. So if that's helpful for you guys,
Right.
my
Yeah.
favorite.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I just put that up there. I had that as one of the questions, but you've already,
Oh
mentioned,
no, so I like
some of
so
your favorites. So.
yeah, so those are the favorite things as far as the alternative. One of my
Mhm.
favorite recipes are actually curries. So if you like curries, like
Mm.
I do, I think curries are like the best thing to learn as when you're starting out, because
Mm.
you can have like you have Indian style curries, you have Thai style curries, you have
Mm.
Jamaican style curries, Trinidadian style curries, and basically you can go to the grocery store and buy like marsala's. You can buy red Thai curry. You can buy uh,
Mm.
the
Wow.
Jamaican curry powder. And if you know
Mhm.
how to use those curries, you can mix that with beans and mushrooms. Delicious. You can mix that with an assortment of
Mm.
vegetables with the curry. Delicious. And you can pick any one of the curries you want, like to experiment with. But first thing I would say is like if you really want to start out making your own food, learn how to make curries. And then once you get the curry flavors
Mhm.
good, the sauce is right, you can generally put any vegetable in them, any beans in them, and it's very, very good over rice, over noodles, over salads, or
Mm.
whatever you like to eat with the curry.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Just sitting here listening.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've started the past year. I've started to really like curry, like just at home, sprinkling the curry, seasoning and stuff. So I started to get more, into that, getting, Jamaican on, even though I'm not Jamaican,
Yeah,
but
any style. Like, if
it
you
puts me in that it puts me in
it's
that
low.
spirit.
It's low, like it's inexpensive to buy the products to make homemade curry if you want to do that. But if you can't make homemade
Mhm.
curry, there are if you go to like an international market or the international aisle in grocery stores, they have pre-made curries for you
Right.
already
Okay.
ready with instructions um,
Mm.
on how to use them, and there is it's very simple. Um, to like get the curry and the sauces started. Once you get the sauces started, again you just add your vegetables
Mhm.
to it, let it sit and marinate for a second, and then pour that over rice, and you got yourself a meal.
And I think it's like being simple is okay.
Hmm.
And I think that blocks people from cooking because they feel like they have to. And I'm speaking for myself sometimes. They feel
Hmm.
like it always has to be elaborate to be a meal, but that's not always the case.
Nope, you can have the
You don't
curry.
need to go out and
And
spend a
have,
hundred dollars.
no, you don't. And then the curries are good also because you can make a big pot of it, and then there you go.
Mhm.
You already have your meal
Mhm.
prep for the week.
Right. For the week.
Uh huh.
So you
And if you
guys are
don't,
listening, don't you can't make excuses up no more.
yep. And if you don't wanna, if you wanna do like, um, eat like 3 days just with like curry chickpeas and curry vegetables, and you can't last a whole week without the meat, you can make on
Mhm.
Friday. You can add some chicken in there,
Right.
and then make curry with the chicken, or make curry
That's right.
with the shrimp, or make curry with the salmon, or whatever you like. You just add that right to it, simmer it
Mhm.
up. But again, it's very, very versatile.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because when people are, getting healthy, they feel like they're limited on the options, and that makes them not want to because they feel like they're going to be missing out on,
No,
some of their favorite foods. But there's ways around that.
yeah, because I feel like it's not the actual. It could be the meat. It could be the meat. I'm not gonna lie. It could be the meat for some people. But
Right, the meat. Yeah.
what I've learned from just being at the markets, being outside and talking to people, it's not the meat
Mhm.
necessarily, it's the flavors. When they've tried vegetarian or vegan food, the
Mhm.
flavor in it is not quite like what they're used to eating. So it
Mm.
deters.
Yeah.
So, as if you can get,
Mm.
but with that said, a good cook, or like someone like me who sits in the kitchen and will try to get the flavor
Yeah.
to mimic as what you're used to mimic, and
Right.
you can get it right.
Mhm.
And again, if you go to my Instagram page, there's, a lot of like food demo things there that I put on for people to eat and try for like simple
Mhm.
dishes. But yeah, it's the flavor. If you can get the flavor of your favorite chicken wings into a vegan dish, you're going to eat the vegan dish because it's healthier for
Right.
you, and
That's
it's
true. You
giving you the
will.
same taste as it gave you with the chicken.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's like it's just experimenting.
Uh huh.
Getting out that laziness that we tend to, to
Yeah.
to fall into.
Yeah.
Um, you've already given so many, but do you have another on the Q-tip that you want to share? It could be, favorite quote, just anything that you can think of that you might think is beneficial.
The only thing that I can say is just, it's never too late to try. It's never too late to figure out what works for you and your body. Although I would love for everybody to be vegan, if it's not an option for you, it's okay. I'm not, on here saying that like you have to eat like me. I honestly just want people to just be
Mhm.
healthy. So even if it's you taking the time out to figure out healthy options, and then starting out from there, do that. And again, be consistent with it. Forgive yourself if you may not,
Mhm.
go down the right journey that week. You may have had a rough week or something like that. So it kind of pulled you off.
Right.
As long as you get back on
Yeah.
there, consistent overall in the long run, it's going to help you. It will help you.
Yeah.
And read the back of your
You guys, I
packages
hope you all are
too.
listening. Yes. Oh, yes. That's a big one. Something I need to do because I look, but then I don't really look. So I'm like, oh, it looked like it's
The
a little
less
healthy.
ingredients, the better.
So I could just throw it in the cart.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good thing to remember. So what do you have coming? I know you mentioned events and stuff that you do at markets. Do you have any coming? I know the season's changing and stuff too,
Mhm.
but if you have
So,
anything, that's coming up soon.
yes. So this weekend on Sunday, I'll be at the Baltimore Farmers Market. It's on Holiday in Saratoga under the JFK, aka 83 Bridge. They're open from 7 to 12 p.m.
Hmm.
So come early, come late. But there I have all of my soups, which again
Hmm.
include the coconut gumbo, which is the most popular. I have the vegan crab,
Mm.
and I also have the chili, and I also serve breakfast sandwiches there if you want to come out and try it. Uh,
Mm.
if you miss me at the bottom of Farmers Market, I also will have an event between I think 1 and 4:35. at the Black Mall off
Mhm.
of Fayette Street. And again, if you check my website, blackbaltimorevegan.com, it'll show you all the upcoming events that's coming near you and up to you. I'm currently also working on completing a cookbook that hopefully will be out next year. I've been on and off with it because I've been so busy
Yes.
and just kind of explain like
Congratulations.
thank
Mhm.
you. Just kind of explaining my journey, explaining like the different alternatives you can have, and
Mhm.
also offering some of my unique recipes that I've created along the way. But pretty much that's it. That's all I got going on.
Well, that's well, that's a lot. Don't die. So that's a lot to have going on. It's a good stuff. And I know you mentioned your website as well. So we're gonna be looking forward to this cookbook. I know I'm gonna be looking forward to that. No pressure, but
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
definitely looking
I
forward to
forgot
that
another thing.
and
I'm
your
having
website. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm throwing an event. This is like my first kind of event that I'm throwing with a co-vegan creator. Her name is Brittany. She's with the Veggie Table. We have a vegan brunch on the 23rd that you can find on the link on Eventbrite. Again, if you are on Instagram, you happen to follow me, I have a flyer on there for it if you want to find the link to that and sign up. We are going fast, but you can also, if you just want to experience the vegan
Mhm.
brunch and we have drinks and stuff, I would love for everyone to come out.
Yes, you guys, if you are in the area, please come out. I'll definitely, vouch for you. I'm gonna sit and go back on after the show, go back and look at your recipes,
Okay.
see what I, can follow. I just started getting into like watching TikTok videos and stuff like that
Well,
and
you know
reels.
my
But I
number,
just,
so you can call me if you
yeah,
need help. I
that's
will talk
true.
you through
Yeah.
it. Anybody, not just her, but
Yes, I
anybody
definitely need help with
watching.
that.
If you have questions, you can follow me on Instagram. You
Mhm.
can DM me. I'm very responsive, and I will answer all your questions as
Yes.
long as it's not industry secrets of my recipes.
Yeah, it's not never that.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to thank you for coming on, Miss Chef Foxy. I'm just feeling really blessed to have you on the show. I know I didn't say in the beginning when we did meet, at work, and it was just that moment, was great. Hearing what you had to say, at the table. You know what table I'm talking about and stuff. So,
Yes.
um, definitely, valuable, experience. Hopefully they were, listening, but that's near or there. But
Right.
again, I'm definitely appreciate you, coming on, tonight. Like I said, as soon as it's over, I'm gonna go back and check out some things. And like you said, I can always reach out to you as well as, the followers tonight can reach out to you. You guys see she's Black Baltimore Vegan. I know y'all on Instagram because you're watching right now. So that's right. I'm actually wearing I have my on the queue underneath, but I had to sport my Steelers
Yes, let him
shirt
know.
tonight 'cause they yeah they won last night against Washington, so I had to represent a little bit.
Oh
So
no! Don't
again, I
tell the
appreciate you
people
coming
from.
on.
Don't tell the Ravens
Huh?
people. Don't tell the Ravens people
Oh
you
no,
like
I don't care about
Steelers.
them.
They're
I don't care about the Ravens
gonna
people.
hunt
No,
you down.
I ain't worried about them people.
Uh,
But thank you again, and I just want to remind everyone to keep sweating yourself to a healthier self, and
mm,
peace, love, and blessings to all of you.
Peace.